A few weeks ago, when it became clear that Advance UK would meet its self-imposed hurdle of 30,000 members and therefore apply to become a fully registered political party, we turned our minds to the launch of the party. And we decided, pretty quickly actually, that we would like to launch in Newcastle, which in many ways is representative of the United Kingdom that was once so glorious. It's a phenomenal city, Newcastle. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. The buildings are absolutely first class. But like so many parts of the United Kingdom, it has been overlooked for decades by successive governments. So its magnificent buildings are often tired looking, derelict, ignored, a bit like the region itself. And so we thought that launching in Newcastle made perfect sense for a party like Advance UK, because what we wish to do is to restore the United Kingdom in all its parts, for all its people, to its former glory. So Newcastle it was. And so after having a look at a few alternative venues in Newcastle, we decided on the Crowne Plaza, a hotel which had a room big enough for 450 people and all the facilities required to host them. And we made it clear to the Crowne Plaza Hotel that we were Advance UK. We directed them to our website so that they were comfortable with the fact that we were a political party and that there was politics involved. People are naturally sensitive in the private sector about hosting political parties. And they were robust in their support. They said that there was no problem hosting a political party, and we agreed terms. And in fact, we paid for the venue entirely up front. So I was extremely disappointed a couple of days ago, literally 6 days before our launch party was due to take place, that Crowne Plaza Hotel had pulled out. And when I was told of this, I called the manager at Crowne Plaza, and I was naturally a little upset, but I wanted to hear what he had to say before expressing my own views. And what I found was an individual who was visibly, or audibly, I should say, audibly shaken. And what he told me was horrific, that he had had multiple calls and threats made to him, made to the hotel and his staff by people who took exception to the fact that we were exercising our right to gather as a political party. Effectively, acts of violence were threatened against the Crowne Plaza Hotel in order to prevent them from hosting us in the way that we had agreed. And my initial upset immediately melted to concern. It was absolutely wrong that people in the Crowne Plaza Hotel should have been subjected to this. And I make no complaint about the Crowne Plaza Hotel cancelling us. Of course, they could have shown more fortitude by standing up to these threats of violence, but it's perfectly reasonable for a commercial establishment to put its commercial interest first and decide that it's not going to host something that could potentially bring its own staff, employees, etc. into danger. So I have no complaint against Crowne Plaza Hotel, but I do have a complaint against the people who threatened Crowne Plaza. I do have a complaint against the people, particularly some in office in Newcastle, who've taken it upon themselves not just to prejudge Advance UK, and I'm going to come back to that, but to justify their threats against Crowne Plaza Hotel on some sort of false basis that they hold the moral high ground and that their threats of violence are somehow justified because of the awful organisation that they see Advance UK to be. There can be no place for peaceable political discourse in the United Kingdom if those who disagree with your point of view take it upon themselves to either threaten violence or perpetrate violence. And let's be clear, the violence here is being threatened and being perpetrated, if it is perpetrated, by those that claim Advance UK has repugnant political views. There can be no greater repugnancy than the threat of violence and the perpetration of violence. And how it is that they've taken it upon themselves to judge Advance UK is beyond me, because all Advance UK has put out so far about its belief system is something I call our mission statement, which simply states that we believe in the nation state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, in all its parts and for all its people, that we believe in our Christian constitutional makeup and our Christian culture, that we believe in freedom of speech, which we were trying to exercise in Newcastle, freedom to gather, which we were trying to exercise in Newcastle, a freedom to act within the law as British citizens should be able to act without being constrained, a belief in democracy, making our elected representatives responsible to the people they represent, and equality under the law. Those are the four elements of our mission statement. There can be nothing offensive in anything I've just said. Some of what I've just said is a statement of fact, and the rest of it is frankly stuff that every single political party should be championing. At the heart of Advance UK is simply a desire for the United Kingdom to be proud, independent, and prosperous. Why does anyone have a problem with that? Which brings me on to their false allegations. Far right. Even Wikipedia has Advance UK down as far right. There can be no basis for judging us as far right because, as I say, we haven't put out any policies. All we've done is put out our mission statement, which, as I say, also, every single political party in this country should be following. They don't. It's because they stand against the nation state of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, because they don't stand in favour of free speech, because they think that they've got the absolute moral high ground and they should muzzle anyone who disagrees with them. That is the politics against which we are standing, and it is that prejudice that has allowed them to judge Advance UK. We've made multiple representations to Wikipedia to change their definition of Advance UK as far right, which, by the way, when you click on the button on Wikipedia, it takes you to images of people wearing Nazi regalia. Absolutely disgusting stuff, which we naturally totally oppose. There is nothing far right about believing in your country, believing in a proud, independent, prosperous United Kingdom. And as far as the charge of racism is concerned, I want everyone to know that I am leader of Advance UK and my father is a Pakistani Muslim. I was born in Pakistan. I have family that are wholly Pakistani, and I have hundreds of friends in Pakistan. I am not racist, and my party is not racist. Just because we believe in making policies for the United Kingdom, for the betterment of the United Kingdom, enforcing our borders, does not make us racist. In fact, I have many Pakistani friends who look at what's going on in the United Kingdom and say to me, well done you, Ben, for standing up for the UK. If anyone tried to do in Pakistan what the sort of what I'm going to call colloquially the far left are doing in the UK, they would be utterly shut down by the Pakistani establishment. Pakistan understands its position in the world as a sovereign state. It enforces its borders. It's a very proud nation, and it's proud of its culture. All these things have been set aside in the United Kingdom. So Pakistanis looking at the UK are gobsmacked by what's going on. And the notion, therefore, that I'm racist or that the party is racist is fundamentally flawed. We are blind to ethnicity. I don't care what colour an individual is. I don't judge them by their skin colour. We don't judge them by their skin colour. We judge them by the content of their character. And the far left, the extremist who threatened violence against Crown Plaza Hotel, apparently there's going to be a march in Newcastle by these same people standing against racism. They are the ones who are prejudiced. They are the ones who are causing political, physical disturbance to the fabric of this country. They are the problem, not people like us, not Advance UK. They are the problem. And I want to talk a little bit about Tommy Robinson. Kim McGuinness took to X yesterday, saying that there's no room for Tommy Robinson's brand of politics in Newcastle. She's obviously jumped on the same bandwagon as these extreme far left people who would seek to shut us down. But I want to make something utterly clear to Kim McGuinness and anyone else watching. Tommy Robinson is one member of over 35,000 members in Advance UK. Just as the other 35,000 plus members do not represent Advance UK, nor does Tommy Robinson. It is the executive of Advance UK, it is the leadership, myself, and members of the college that represent Advance UK. And we must not be judged by the views of an individual member. That should be clear to any sane-minded, mature politician. But Kim McGuinness wishes to jump on this extremely prejudiced bandwagon and to do whatever she can to rubbish Advance UK. She didn't once address our mission statement. She didn't once address me as leader. She chose to pick on one member out of over 35,000 members to try and make her case. Extremely prejudiced behaviour by someone who should know better. She should also know that under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 20, Tommy Robinson has a right of political association. And in Advance UK, we are going to robustly protect the rights of people in this country for political association. And that is why Advance UK has no rules against people joining it, other than that they should be British citizens and on the electoral roll. We are not going to stop people like Tommy Robinson joining the party. We are open to all people from whom we wish to gather a vote to join the party. But they do not represent us. We are represented by people like me, the college, and other executives in the party. Then the other thing I want to say is that under the same article, Article 20 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we have a right for political gathering. Effectively, what people like Kim McGuinness and other Labour councillors have achieved is the abuse of Advance UK's collective human right to gather in Newcastle. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent our human right to gather. And we will not be cowed. As I said on X myself, come hell or high water, we will be in Newcastle on Saturday. So our event will take place on Saturday. Whether you like it or not, Kim McGuinness, we will be in Newcastle. We come utterly in peace. We come utterly with nothing more than the best interests of people in Newcastle, in the Northeast, and indeed right across the United Kingdom. We have come with nothing more than their best interests in mind, the promotion of our nation state and the promotion of its people. If you have a problem with that, I suggest you stay away from joining Advance UK. That is your prerogative.